A powwow is where our hearts beat as one to the thump of the drum, together so strong where we belong. That is from What is a Powwow by Kim Rogers, and I am reading to you from Ancestor approved Intertribal Stories for Kids, and the selection I am featuring is called Little Fox and the Case of the Missing Regalia. It was written by Erika T. Wurth. Wait, you're telling me you're missing regalia? Like, as in someone here at the powwow stole your stuff? I couldn't believe it. No way. Just no way. I'm telling you, Tokala, girl, it's true. And it's not the first time something was stolen at a powwow either, Shauna said. People sitting next to us at the powwow started staring. We had been sitting there on the hard metal benches, taking a break from walking around to see what the vendors had for sale, and watching the fancy shawl dancers. That's my favorite. I love to watch the girls swirl in the pit below us, their braided hair glossy. Plus, our friend Jenny was about to dance, and we promised we'd watch. At least we just happen to have a famous detective here. What? Shauna said, wiggling her eyebrows significantly at me. Oh, well, I'm not like famous or anything, I said, turning kind of red. Ever since I'd solved the mystery of my mom's disappearance, native kids had been hiring me to solve crimes for them. Yeah, you are. You're totally famous. I'm just glad you're here. Shauna looked down at her feet and sighed heavily. I just never thought this kind of thing would happen to me. I patted her back. I was happy I was here. I could help. I was good at solving mysteries, and Shauna had been my friend forever, ever since our parents had met at one of their Indian conferences where they gave papers on Indian stuff. My parents were presenting at the University of Michigan. I was just glad there was a powwow at the same time and I could hang with Shauna. Otherwise, we'd be stuck running around the hallways of the university. Boring. Though to be fair, whenever I was asked to solve a crime, one of my parents would come along, and then they were the ones stuck in a hotel grading papers waiting for me. So let's go through what just happened. I like to be real specific, I said, getting my iPad mini out. I'd gotten it with some of what I'd earned through crime solving. I didn't charge much because it was only Indian kids who hired me and they insisted on paying. My parents were making me put most of it in a college fund. I went to the locker room to change, Shauna said. I had the most lit regalia. I'm talking lit as heck, and that's what I was focused on. I nodded. Shauna was a jingle dress dancer. Go on. And I went to pull my mocks out, the fire ones my grandma helped make, the ones with the floral pattern, the pink and blue ones. And they were gone. Like 20 minutes ago, I asked. Yeah, I searched all over the locker room, went to the car, and even asked my derpy brother to look for them at home, she said, pounding her fist into her palm. That was why she'd been gone so long. I'd been starting to worry. Had even texted Shauna a few times after she didn't come back. Then, as soon as I was ready to go search for her, she came out looking really angry in her regular clothes, just her jeans and pink shirt with the words powwow magic. Do you think maybe your brother just didn't look hard enough? No, he can be weak, but he knows how important this is to me. And honestly, I remember putting them in my bag. Like, I really remember, because this is the first time I was going to get to wear them. And I wrapped them in an old shirt and stuck them in my red and gray Pendleton bag that I got at Gathering of Nations, right under my clothes. The fancy shawl dancers came on, swinging their arms, the green and white and red of their regalia bright, their shawls spinning out into the air to the thump of the drums. We stopped what we were talking about for a minute so we could look for Jenny. She was toward the middle in yellow. I watched her move, her feet bouncing in time to the beat. She was such a good dancer. This powwow kind of reminded me of the ones my dad took me to, which made sense since Anishinaabe and Lakota people were from around the same area. A long time ago, they even used to fight. Of course, it was all so different from my mom's nation. When I'd go home to the Chiricahua Reservation outside Deming, New Mexico, the ceremonies and dances and the clothes, well, it was nothing like the plains stuff here. It was cool, though. My parents liked to participate in each other's dances and such on their reservations, with me along, of course. Like I was preparing for my puberty ceremony on Mom's res, and Dad would have a part to play, even though he was Sikangu Lakota, because he was my dad. And that's the thing, Tokala, that's when I remembered. And that's when I got pissed, Shauna continued, shaking her head, her long braids swinging. What did you remember? Well, that a bunch of regalia has gone missing at different powwows around here. You know, all Anishinaabe florals. First at White Earth, that's where Jenny had a pair of barrettes in that style go missing. We thought she'd just lost them. But then at Millie Locke's, my home, hair ties in the same style went missing. Do you remember if you left your bag in a place where someone could get to your stuff? I asked. Shauna said, putting her chin on her fist. You know, I put it down right behind me when I first came in. And you know what? I did leave it when we went to go look at the vendors. Remember, I pushed it kind of under the bench. I nodded. That was definitely enough time to take stuff, especially if someone had been watching, Shauna. And this has been a preview of Ancestor Approved.